Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing. Topping our newscast, elections officials and lawmakers are continuing to work on addressing the outdated election laws in the VI Code. More meetings are planned this week, this time in the St. Thomas district, and officials still want the public's input. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
The community has been calling for change to local election laws, especially after the last two controversial elections. But officials say the response from the public has been slow. St. Croix Election Board members have extended the deadlines for recommendations, and they're actually calling on residents to have that input in by tomorrow. The St. Croix Elections Office has received only about 10 recommendations so far about changing elections laws. Some concerns have been mostly about symbol voting. The St. Croix District Board of Elections has been asking the public for recommendations to update the 29 chapters of Title 18 of the VI Code.
We made great strides and want to continue just that.
Senator Kenneth Gittens joined the election system's efforts on election reform. He participated in the agency's town hall meeting in June and held his own meetings with elections officials and lawmakers following that forum.
At the last set of meetings, we began the process of working through Title 18 of the Virgin Islands Code to identify definitions of words that have been causing contradictions and other issues. We also inserted definitions and terminologies that were lacking from the code to reduce the instances of ambiguity and contradictions.
Gittens is hosting all-day meetings Thursday and Friday with St. Thomas elections officials.
I want everyone to come prepared to delve into the remaining chapters of Title 18 in order for us to address as much as we can during this second set of meetings.
The Joint Board of Elections expect to have the changes implemented in time for the 2016 election. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, suggestions can be made at the St. Croix Elections Office or via email to esvi.info@vi.gov. The St. Thomas meetings will be held at Walkers by the Sea from 9:30 to 4. The public is invited to observe the process. The Legislative Summit, organized by the National Council of State Legislators, continue in Washington State. There's a main agenda for VI senators, which is to push for equal citizenship rights for Virgin Islanders, but individual senators also have their own goals. Senator Terrence Positive Nelson wants to learn from other legislators in general, but he won't shy away from any discussion on pot. News 2's April Knight has that story.
It's day 2 at the 2015 Legislative Summit in Seattle, Washington that drew 13 VI senators.
We have topics from police cameras to legalizing marijuana.
Legalizing marijuana, potholes and possibilities.
Marijuana legislation is a hot topic, and Senator Terrence Positive Nelson plans to make the most of the discussions.
I am convinced that medicinal marijuana is a health revolution and an economic revolution that can help the Virgin Islands to be a viable economy once again.
According to Nelson, economists and policymakers cannot ignore the fact that the cannabis industry has taken off.
As it relates to investments and how to use new investments or new money for infrastructure, we always have to, I think, consider what's going on with medical cannabis.
Nelson, a staunch advocate of growing a marijuana industry to bolster the economy, said he's working on a marijuana bill that's soon to come out in the 31st legislature.
The legislation is just about complete and will be submitted to the legal council in mostly legal format in the very, very near future.
Nelson is also part of the Agriculture, Technology, and Infrastructure Committees. He said the summit is not a junket trip, as some of their critics would think, but could actually bring home usable ideas for the territory. At the summit, the marijuana legislation discussion is scheduled to happen on Wednesday. Meanwhile, locally, Senator Nelson said that there is an upcoming public announcement, a more detailed announcement of his own marijuana legislation. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Again, the Legislative Summit ends on Thursday, August 6th. We will keep you updated on developments, but you can also follow them yourself at www.ncsl.org. In crime reports on Sunday, August 2nd at 4:11 p.m., officers received notification from the 911 emergency call center of a robbery case in Estate Grove Place. The victim, who'd stated that he'd been in the midst of completing some home repairs outside of his residence when three males wearing white T-shirts and jeans appeared and asked for a glass of water. As he began to tell him he had no water, according to the reports, he was pushed to the ground and a gun and pickaxe were pointed at his head. The victim said the men removed 2 air conditioning units and his mobile phone as they immediately left the area. This is the second robbery that the victim has faced in 1 week, according to reports, but was left unharmed in this incident. If you have any information, please call police and assist in their investigation. Well, a CAPA meeting was held Monday in Red Hook at the Paradise Cove Hotel, along with the Red Hook Alliance, with the president, Andrea King. Also in attendance were Mr. Larry Bushalty from Governor Mapp's office, Ms. Nicole Bolentini from Senator Liberd's office, along with Mr. Lyle Batiste from Senator Jackson's office, and many of the Red Hook community. Well, there were many concerns made by the homeowners, and here are some of them. The main one being the noise from the bars in Red Hook, underage drinking, illegal parking, rudeness of the 911 operators, drag racing, speeding during school hours, trash buildup, public urination, drug dealings, the need for trash to be picked up, and the chicken problem, the need for policemen during rush hour because of Brookman Road traffic and working street cameras. And CAPA plans to tackle the main problem first, which is the noise. So they're asking for many to join in, as well as the commissioner to join into the next meeting that will be held on August 10th, 6 p.m. at the Paradise Cove Hotel, so some residents can get the concrete solution to the noise problem and address some of the other concerns. Again, that next meeting is Monday, August 10th at the Paradise Cove Hotel. The Virgin Islands Department of Justice could lose yet another Attorney General as Acting AG James Carroll III is set to be leaving his post. There is no confirmation from the administration, but some members of the legislature have expressed dismay over reports of Carroll stepping down. If true, he would be the 3rd Acting Attorney General to step down since Governor Mapp took office. Calls to Government House were not returned by news time. Meanwhile, the governor has called for a press conference on Wednesday, August 5th, where an announcement on the matter is expected to be made. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Governor Mapp announced several significant FEMA grant awards to the territory, totaling $2,267,355. $854,000 will go to the State Homeland Security Program, $130,000 to Operation Stone Garden, $942,000 to Emergency Management Performance Grant Program, $340,000 to Port Security Grant Program, VIPA, and then Port Security Grant Program will help the territory in many ways. Now, the governor said we can secure our ports appropriately and cut down on the illegal trafficking of weapons and better secure our borders. He said we will be able to prepare for disasters with this money. Finally, he says with these funds, we can ensure a safer territory. And Count on 2 will have more on the FEMA grants and a little more description on where some of the funds are going. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. As we can see, everything's down. The Dow, 47, NASDAQ, 9, S&P 500, also down at 4. Coming up on News 2, the annual Kids Count report is out. What is the state of our youngsters in the VI? Plus, if you grew up in the Virgin Islands or have lived here for many years, chances are you own a pair of Zoras sandals or canvas backpack. The Zoras building, which is located on Noragata, holds more history than you may realize, and an art exhibit aims to draw some attention back. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Commissioner Designee of Public Works, Mr. Gustave James, is notifying the motoring public that the bridge on Route 669, which runs just east of the Department of Agriculture facility on St. Croix, is closed to vehicular traffic until further notice. The closure of the roadway, he says, is due to severe deterioration of the bridge structure, which has rendered it unsafe. Now, during this road closure, motorists are urged to use Route 65 through Bethlehem and Route 69 through Grove Place. Senate Vice President Jeanette Millen-Young Monday expressed satisfaction with the results and characterized the investment forum held last week as exceeding all expectations. It made a clear statement that the U.S. Virgin Islands is open for business. She said, "We displayed that we have a market in which businesses want to invest and received a tremendous amount of positive feedback and requests to make it an annual event." The forum was a collaborative effort between the 31st Legislature of the Virgin Islands and the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority. The topics discussed included revitalization of our towns, leveraging our technological edge, building a sustainable agricultural industry, and investors' perspectives from doing business in the Virgin Islands. The latest Kids Count data book from the VI has been released. Officials from the Community Foundation of the Virgin Islands presented the 15th annual report during a special presentation to Governor Mapp last week. News2's Erica Parsons has details.
The 2014 Kids Count data book has just been released.
This year we did our formal release of the report directly to Governor Mapp. We asked him for an appointment so that we could brief him on the findings.
The 2014 report gives policymakers and the public information about the risks and well-being of the territory's children. The findings from each report uses data from 3 years prior.
Kids Count nationally and locally uses data which is 3 years earlier than the actual book report, and that's so that you can put your data through the kinds of tests to be sure that it is accurate.
The Community Foundation of the VI has been focused on addressing early education. They put together the report every year. The picture for local children has gotten worse. The report found that poverty is up 28% since 2008. Almost 50% of third graders aren't reading at grade level, and almost 2/3 of public high school juniors can't read proficiently. Leaders from CFVI made several recommendations to Governor Mapp, including public investments to reduce poverty and strengthening students' school readiness and achievement.
The governor was very receptive both to the information in the report as well as the interest that the foundation has in seeing that the work to improve early childhood education is something that's a priority for his administration.
Erica Parsons, News2.
The Kids Count data book is available in several forms. CFVI has hard copies at their office, but residents can also download the book online at www.cfvi.net or customize and create a report by demographics. UVI employees, students, and other volunteers worked on several projects throughout the territory last week. It was part of 2 planned community service days. Last Wednesday on St. Croix, the volunteers focused on Alexander Henderson Elementary School, giving it a much-needed paint job. On Thursday on St. Thomas, the volunteers worked to beautify a therapeutic Serenity Garden at the Family Resource Center. UVI is also partnered with the Queen Louise Home for Children. The 2 are conducting the Backpack for Success outreach, where they're collecting school supplies for children in need. Time for our summer fun segment, and here's something you can add to your summer fun list. Ever took a ride up on the tramway? Disembark some 700 feet above your starting point and you'll be treated to some stunning views, multiple scenic lookout points, and a cluster of gift and souvenir shops, and even an open-air bar restaurant. On some evenings, you will be entertained by steel pan music, limbo dancers, and mukajumbis, even a trained bird show. Some have even tied the knot at the wedding gazebo up there. There's a short boardwalk leading to a nature trail which leads to an overlook. The tram cars ride anywhere from 5 to 50 feet above ground. Well, BVI festival events continue, and Miss BVI was held on Sunday. Congrats to Miss British Virgin Islands 2015-2016 Queen Adoria Bailey. First runners-up, Sierra Christian, and second runners-up, Shelika Foy. The Rise and Shine Tramp and August Monday Parade were held on Monday, and the East End Long Look 60th anniversary opening of the Village Rise and Shine Tramp was held in Roadtown this morning. Tomorrow morning, August 5th, is the East End Long Look Rise and Shine Tramp. That's at 4 a.m. with a parade. Thursday, August 6th, there's a torchlight sunset procession in Carrot Bay, an opening ceremony and platpole and cultural program in Carrot Bay. August 7th, it's Carrot Bay's Cultural Day, which would include some donkey races, tug of war, sack races, three-legged race, egg and spoon, and grease pig. And Sunday, August 9th, there is the East End Long Look Nottingham Festival of Culture and Praise. Senator Tregenza Roach says the British Virgin Islands and the United States Virgin Islands are forever connected by cultural bonds that will extend for generations. Senator Roach encourages residents to reflect on the significance of August Monday, which was yesterday. August Monday is a holiday in which the BVI and many other islands in the former British West Indies celebrate their emancipation. On August 1st, 1834, the Emancipation Proclamation was read, proclaiming 5,133 enslaved Africans free. The Sunday morning well in Road Town, Tortola is noted as one of the sites that the Emancipation Proclamation was read. The lives of thousands of the enslaved were changed in a monumental way on the great day. Celebrated the first Monday of August. This year's August Monday was celebrated August 3rd, 2015. During these 10 days, the BVI celebrates the emancipation jointly with their annual festival. Well, as the economy fluctuates and businesses come and go, but Zoras Sandals on St. Thomas has stood firm over the years that the building it occupies has become somewhat of a local landmark. For the next 2 weeks, the Season Store has a little added treat for its clients as well as art lovers on the island. NEWS2's April Knight has more.
Zora Galvin has been making leather sandals on St. Thomas for 53 years.
I opened the store in 1962, right down the street next to the British cable office. The only thing I made at that point were sandals and belts.
Her sandal store is now a veritable landmark all its own. For decades, having a Zora backpack was a symbol of cool for school children.
They say that, oh, my daughter has her canvas bag from grade school and she's still using it, and my son is still wearing his backpack that he had when he was in 3rd grade.
And her custom-made leather sandals last for ages.
With a good quality leather, you can always get them resold. Yesterday, a man brought in a pair of sandals to be resold and copied that were 35 years old.
But if you pass by Zoras before August 15th, not only will you get a treat of her quality handmade goods, you'll also see beautiful works of art by Virgin Islands artists.
Artwork of different mediums, paintings, pottery, we have beautiful jewelry, so it was just a perfect marriage.
And it seems artistry runs in the blood. Some of the artwork is Tamisa's handmade jewelry and Chancey Miller's new oil series. Both artists are Zora's daughters. Curator Priscilla Hint said Zora's sandals and the art gallery are a wonderful match and a great way of supporting local talent. For NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
Now that exhibit is on display at Zoras until August 15th from 8 to 5, Mondays to Fridays, and on Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. So be sure to check it out. Stick around, your NEWS2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.